Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of tutorials on C++. I am Deepak Niyal and in this tutorial I am going to cover this pointer. So objects member function can manipulate all the data and we have seen that in our previous tutorials. So there comes a question into our mind that how do member function know which object's data member to manipulate, right? So you can think it like this. Let us suppose you have one object GB1 and then you have another object GB2. Let us suppose it had some member functions and some data members. So one of the data member it could have is course and another is year. Similarly, it will have its own copy and will have the same variable. So now the question is how member function of these objects will know that which objects data they have to modify, right? So you could call gb1 dot set year, or you can call gb2 dot set year and then pass some value to it, right? So the answer to this question is we have this pointer. So every object has access to its own address through a pointer called this pointer, and this is a keyword of C++, but this pointer is not a part of any of the object as such, and therefore it will not be reflected in the size of object. So in this case, if this is string and this is integer, so string could occupy 6 bytes in this case because we have 6 characters, and then 4 bytes for this year because it is integer. So overall it has 10 bytes of data, but we can't say that we have a pointer so it will also add size to this object, but it is passed by compiler as an implicit argument to each of the non-static member function of an object. So what do we mean by this? Let us suppose this member function is non-static, so this pointer will be passed to this function as an argument. So why we are saying that it will be passed to non-static members? Why not static? Could you think about this? Although we will study static data members and static member function in future, but answer to this particular question is that static data members and member function exist independently, right? So they don't need any object of a class to exist. These static member functions or static data members will exist on their own. So objects use this pointer implicitly or explicitly to reference their data members and member functions. So I will show you an example of this and understand it through that. Here is the one thing that I want to rectify. I have said that string will take 6 bytes and integer will take 4 bytes. For the integer, that is true that it will take 4 bytes, but for the string it actually depends on the string. So if it is C++, there are 3 characters only and it will take 3 bytes, but if it is like Java, then it is going to take 4 bytes. Similarly for the Python, it will take 6 bytes and so on, right? So please correct this. Okay, so do one thing here, create a test class and it will have a constructor of the same name, and inside this test you can assign the values of some variables. We need to declare a variable first, so I'm just declaring x, and if no value is passed to this function, just assign 0 to this, and here the value has been assigned. We can define another function, it will print the values and make this function const, so that this function is not able to modify anything inside this. Sometimes we want such kind of function so that avoid any accidental modification to our object. So here I am going to show you the implicit and explicit use of this pointer. So you can use simple x equal to x to print the value of x variable, and this is using this pointer implicitly. Other than this, you can use this pointer explicitly, and here you can see that we are using arrow operator. In the next line I am going to use dot operator for this, and when we use dot operator we need to dereference it first, because we can't use dot operator with a pointer. So I have dereferenced it first, and here you go. So now try to test this class. We have to create a driver function, that is main, and I am creating a test object. Just pass something to it, maybe 20, and then I will call print function on this object. I will run this program. This program compiled successfully. Now run this program, and here you can see all the answers are exactly same. We have got 20 in each of them, but the way of accessing these variables is different. So when we are using implicit access to the variable, we are using only x, then we are using arrow operator along with this pointer, and then we are dereferencing this pointer first, and after that using dot operator. So I hope you would have understand that. So now let us see one thing. When we used arrow operator it was like this, but when we used this operator we put some parenthesis around it and then used dot operator with the x. So can you answer this question, why we are using parenthesis here? What if we leave it like this? Will it work fine? So I will try to answer this question in next tutorial, but before that you can try to think about it and write answer in comments. Okay, so if you feel any doubt or query you can always ask there, but before that please try it on your own. Second thing, this pointer avoids self assignment. You might be remembering from our past tutorials that we used this arrow x equal to x to assign the x into x, where x is the parameter that have been passed from other function, and this arrow x is the data member of class, right? So we have seen that in previous lectures. In future we will see that how this self assignment can cause serious errors when the object contains pointers to dynamically allocated storage. So you might also remember from our previous tutorial that we discussed the similar kind of thing in previous lectures also, that when we have dynamic pointers or dynamic memory allocation in our class, something was causing problem, right? So can you write that thing in comment, that what was that thing that was causing problem in that case and what solution we provided for that? All right, so I think this is enough for this tutorial. If you feel any query or any doubt, always write in the comment and I will try to respond as soon as possible. So see you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much.